Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. It's emerged the American soldier who fled to North Korea had been detained for getting into fights in South Korea before he crossed the border. Travis King, seen here in the black t-shirt and cap moments before he ran, had also damaged a police car and had recently spent time in a detention facility in Seoul. The 23-year-old serviceman had recently been released and was being sent back to the US when he escaped. It remains unclear what his intentions were for crossing the border.
Someone ran close to me very fast, and I thought, what is going on? I didn't think anyone who was sane would want to go to North Korea, so I assumed it was some kind of stunt to, run to the North Korean border fence and have someone film it or something like that.
More than 2,000 residents are being evacuated from 4 villages in Russian-occupied Crimea after a fire that triggered hours of explosions at a nearby ammunition depot. The cause of the fire at a military training ground near the city of Stary Krim has not been explained, but unconfirmed reports on social media spoke of 3 Ukrainian strikes. Overnight, Russia launched an air attack on the Ukraine port of Odessa for the second night in a row. Here, a grain and oil terminal hit, damaging tanks and equipment for loading. Russia's president will not attend a summit in South Africa next month, that's according to the country's president. The announcement comes after South Africa's leader said any attempt to arrest Vladimir Putin would be a declaration of war against Russia. Court documents show Cyril Ramaphosa was against arresting Mr. Putin. If Vladimir Putin had left Russian soil, he would have been subject to an international criminal court arrest warrant. Ukraine's farmers say they fear the worst after Russia's withdrawal from the Black Sea grain deal, which could make an already dire financial situation catastrophic. On Monday, Russia pulled out of the Black Sea Grain Initiative, a Turkish and UN-brokered accord that has made it possible for Ukraine to export grain over the past year, despite the war raging on.
Ukraine is a key player in world food supply. I feel like feeding the world, seeing that being destroyed by the Russians, and by them trying to use food as a weapon. It's just, I don't have words for this. It's just completely crazy, that we let this happen.
Meanwhile, the head of Britain's MI6 Foreign Spy Service, Sir Richard Moore, has invited discontented Russians to share their secrets with British intelligence services during a rare public speech.
Many Russians are wrestling with the same dilemmas and the same tugs of conscience as their predecessors did in 1968. I invite them to do what others have already done this past 18 months and join hands with us. Our door is always open. We will handle their offers of help with the discretion and professionalism for which my service is famed. Their secrets will always be safe with us.
Kenya has closed schools in the country's 2 main cities as a 3-day opposition protest kicks off with demonstrations confronting police. Tear gas has been fired in the capital Nairobi and the coastal city of Mombasa at those protesting over the high cost of living. Many businesses have remained shut over fears of looting, with people scared of getting caught up in violent clashes. Last week, at least 14 people died in protests, 10 were shot by police. And an Australian sailor has finally touched dry land after months adrift at sea with his dog, until a surprise rescue by a Mexican fishing ship.
To the captain and this fishing company that saved my life, what do you say? I'm just so grateful.
The castaway, 54-year-old Timothy Lindsay Shaddock, was spotted on a catamaran in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Mexico. The sailor and his dog had originally set sail in April from the Mexican coastal city of La Paz, bound for French Polynesia. He said they survived their ordeal by eating raw fish and drinking rainwater. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.